Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, we're going to react to 5 American things that British people secretly envy. For me, just me personally, one thing that I envy about America is the ability of economic and social mobility. It feels like in America, if you really have a good work ethic, and an idea for a business, for example, you can really make it happen. There's going to be obstacles, but here I find that it's almost discouraged. They make it hard. The amount of regulation, the amount of, if you wanted to rent a storefront in London, you're paying insane both rent and business rates. They make it really hard for you to leave your economic bracket. So let's say you're born into a middle-class family. For you to go into the upper middle-class bracket might be a lot harder than it would be in America. Like my aunt, for example, she moved from Nigeria to America, and she's now a doctor, and she makes $250,000 a year or something like that. So the lifestyle that she can obviously live is just really, really nice. Whereas a doctor here in England, you're probably making 60, 70k a year, which is a good salary, but it's not it's not $250,000. So yeah, that's definitely one thing I envy about America.
Hi, we're Joel and Leah.
And we've got merch!
We do!
Merch available!
So these gowns.
Confidence.
Yeah, honestly,
Confidence.
Americans have so much more confidence than Brits.
Yeah, it's just a confidence to I know we've said in the past it's so annoying when they strike up a conversation.
Yeah.
But really, the confidence it must take to just sort of be yeah, hi, how are you? Let's chat. It is admirable when you think about it.
Just because I hate the fact that they do that, and lots of Brits do, doesn't mean that I don't want to be like that. I think partly you hate it because you're like, oh, I wish I could be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brits are more reserved for sure. After drinking though, that goes way down, but when they're sober, Brits are definitely a lot more reserved than Americans.
But I naturally don't want to talk to a stranger.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh, I wish I did want to talk to strangers.
Yeah, which is the majority of British people.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want to engage.
I don't want to engage in any conversation.
I don't want to engage. Do you know what's actually really funny? I had a really British thought as I was blow drying my hair today. I thought if hair dryers were silent, hairdressers would have to talk to you more, and that would pain them.
Yeah.
Because British hairdressers, because they don't necessarily want to chat. Some of them do, but the majority are just great. Now the blow dry bit, I don't have to talk. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, someone needs to invent silent hairdryers.
With my hairdresser, we chat for a bit, watch the video cut, and then as soon as the hairdryer comes on, we both know it's peace and quiet time now.
Yeah, because otherwise you're shouting, trying to get
exactly.
over it.
Or lip reading through the mirror, so you can see their lips and they can see you.
There's just no point. So I've got a theory of why Americans are more confident than Brits, especially at making friends.
Their childhood.
No, but way back when.
Yeah.
So when Americans were Spanish or British or whatever, they arrived at Plymouth Rock or whatever it was called, and they were like, oi, you, be friends with me. Because they had no choice. They don't have any family or friends.
Yeah.
So a Spanish person might have bumped into a Native American, and they were like, hey, do you want to be friends? And then they might be like, maybe. And then they just get used to talking to...
Yeah, I think there's actually, I think that's probably quite credible. And also the people that would leave their original country to go somewhere new are going to be more adventurous, more risk-taking, more... open to trying new things and stuff. So the attitude maybe of the people who went to America, naturally inclines them to be more open to speaking to strangers.
People.
Okay.
And then because it's a nation of immigrants from other countries all coming into America, they had to talk to each other.
Yeah, it was survival.
Survival. That's what I'm trying to say. And they had to trade things.
Yeah.
And they had to talk to people. Whereas Brits have just always been.
Yeah, they
Pretty much.
They would just, come out the womb. They knew they were going to be okay.
Yeah. And you know what? Brits are quite classist. So it's I'm not going to speak to you because you're from a different social class. Whereas in America, that doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
And they will happily talk to anyone.
Yeah.
I will say that's improved now a lot, though. Over the last maybe 20 years, it still exists, but it's not quite as bad. I think because universities are so popular now, and you've got all different social classes, like basically going to the same unis, living together in dorms.
The UK is a bit messed up like that. Like, there's nowhere quite like it that is so obsessed with the class system.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very good theory. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, let us know
in the comments.
In the comments.
Okay, so the next one, which I think we all kind of forget about, is music and like America's contribution to music. Like, they brought in so many genres,
Jazz,
and without that, what would
hip-hop.
music be today? It's crazy to think. Like,
Rock.
you've got jazz music.
Yeah.
Old school jazz musicians.
Country music.
Country would not be here
Country.
if it wasn't for country music, obviously from America.
What else?
Yeah, blues, rock and
Blues,
roll.
yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's rock and roll. Well, hang on. Elvis is from the US. Isn't he? Yeah.
So I guess it all came from there.
Yeah, he gave birth to rock and roll.
So what did we have before that?
I mean, classic music, like classical, probably came from Europe, I would think. Like, you know, Beethoven and those guys.
I don't
Classical.
really know, because like did you watch that musical Beautiful, the Carole King musical on the
I
West
don't
End?
watch musicals.
I took my grandma to go and see it, and it was really crazy because obviously you've got all of these like American singer-songwriters way back when Carole King like started writing for you know, like Aretha Franklin, people like that.
Is she American?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like they were all these incredible like genres coming in with the influence of like African Americans and stuff like that. And like before that, music was so boring. Like, they had scenes in the play where like what was being played on the radio before these people were coming in and being accepted, like when there was such a divide between like black and white people, their music was coming in and like white people wanted to dance to it, and like white people wanted to embrace this music. But
It's crazy how much music has changed over the last sort of 40 to 50 years. Like, when you think about the 60s and the swinging 60s and that kind of music compared to like the 80s and like house music and stuff like that, and Madonna compared to now, it's like so different.
it was still seen as like, oh my gosh, like it was still a big divide, and it was a really interesting musical. If it's ever on near you, definitely go see it, because I thought it was really interesting.
I want to see it because I like all the music that was featured in it. I remember seeing a trailer for it on the plane, and it seemed really cool. But...
and like everyone in the audience was like, you make me feel like
oh no, that's why I hate musicals, because people sing in the audience. You're like, I've come to hear them sing. Stop singing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's true, man. I went with my sisters and my mum to watch Lion King, and they were, oh my god. What was it? I just can't wait to be king.
I know, completely.
Yeah.
Like, who sings this?
Did you sing?
No,
Did you? Be honest.
I sat humming it.
Yeah, right. She sang.
It was so good.
You're dead to me.
I'm not.
How does this channel work if that happens?
I'm dead to you.
You're dead to me. I'm not talking to you except in videos. Alright.
So yeah, it says here on the website, they are the genesis of all modern music, without which there would be very little worth dancing to in the world. Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Brits have taken that and do make good music now, but we forget that it's come from America, and we need to thank America for bringing us such good music. Yeah,
like my grandma always says, if it wasn't for Elvis Presley, like rock and roll would never be what it is. And like he kind of did.
But then, wouldn't have someone else have done it? Like, if Elvis didn't exist, somebody else probably would have filled that void, wouldn't they? Like, if somebody didn't invent scissors, somebody else would have invented scissors. What do you think?
Bring in like rock and roll, pop rock. Anyway,
I guess it was rock and roll back then, but now listening to Elvis, we'd be like, oh, it's just cheesy pop.
Yeah, we probably label it so differently.
Yeah. Right. Okay, the next one that Brits are secretly envious of is Hollywood.
I know, it's just the glitz and glam of it.
I know.
I mean, okay, let's like withdraw our opinions of like when we went to LA and we thought Hollywood was a bit of a dive.
Yeah, apart from
it was quite dirty, surprisingly.
Apart from the fact that we thought it was a bit of a shithole.
Yeah. It's just the culture, and like it might not even technically exist, like the Hollywood bubble,
the perception,
or the Hollywood dream. We don't have a thing, like there's no area in the UK apart from like London, and London's a city that's like a thing. You don't get like, you would never say, oh, they're a London actor, but you would say they're a Hollywood actor.
They're a Hollywood actor.
We don't have our own thing.
We don't.
No.
It's like, oh, that film was shot at Pinewood or Elm Street in like outside of London and stuff like that. But Hollywood, it's like the film industry's there, TV, Hollywood actors, the Hollywood bubble.
I do feel like Hollywood has lost a little bit of its magic with all the controversy over the last few years, but it's still like this thing, this place where you can make your dreams come true. Like if you want to be an actor, you know, you want to go to Hollywood, that's where you want to be. It still has that, but would you agree that it's kind of lost a tiny amount of its magic?
Yeah.
It's also like
glitz and glam,
and we just don't have any equivalent of that.
No.
So,
and it's a really nice aspiration to have when you're a kid and you grow up and you want to be an actor like we did, to have something that's like the pinnacle of your career to aim for, to be like, I want to be in Hollywood, and I want to be doing that. I mean, it's not necessarily my dream anymore, but as a kid, that was what I wanted, and it was nice to like have something to be like, I want to go there.
I want to go there, and like I want to collect an Oscar award.
Yeah.
Like we don't have the Academy Awards here.
No, we have
We got BAFTAs. We do have our own award, but it's not as big as the Oscars.
Not BAFTAs, but people are like, I mean,
BAFTAs are like one step under Academy Awards, aren't they? Like, they're not supposed to be. I think BAFTA is like a really great, prestigious award to get. And
you've got a BAFTA, amazing. But
to be honest,
you've got an Oscar.
That's more my dream now, is to have a BAFTA one day rather than an Oscar. Because I think maybe it's because it's more realistic. And also because I'd like to do something good in my own country that other Brits are like, well done.
Well done, you got a BAFTA.
Yeah, rather than just like going, nah, sack off the BAFTAs.
The BAFTAs.
Sack off the BAFTAs, I want an Oscar.
Really?
Well, I would like an Oscar, but it's not going to happen.
Amazing to have an Oscar. You never know, Joel. You just never know.
Yeah,
like,
it's so true.
I think it's more likely for us to get an Oscar than it would be to get a BAFTA.
It's so true, because Brits hate us, guys. So
that's another video. So number 4 is superheroes. Superheroes.
I hate.
Yeah, we don't really. There's a Captain Britain, but it's basically Captain America, just with a British, you know, theme instead of an American theme. We don't really have a big, at least to my knowledge, superhero industry, comic book industry here.
Superhero. So I don't know. As a Brit, I'm not envious of that. I don't watch any Marvel films. I don't watch anything to do with wars in space.
Yeah, I think for a lot of kids growing up, like they're all the superheroes that they aspired to, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, all stemmed from the US, right? I'm pretty sure they did. I don't think I don't remember any Spider-Man film being. Hang on, the actor that plays Spider. No, he's American. Like they're all Americans.
No, what's his name? Tom Holland is English.
Tom Holland is British, isn't he?
I think he does an American accent in it, doesn't he?
Yeah, also it is American.
So they're all American.
Clark Kent, Superman. I did used to like that. I used to watch the TV series Superman when I was a kid with all my family. That was fun.
Like kids in the UK have got like pajamas with like superheroes on them. And
do you guys remember the Superman TV show with Dean Cain as Superman? That was amazing. I remember watching it as a young kid in the 90s and early 2000s.
And what superheroes have we really got that were born here?
Apart from the Queen, I can't think of any.
The Queen is our superhero.
She's our superhero.
Yeah. Kate and Will's superhero couple.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know. And the most modern one is The Incredibles.
The Incredibles. Yeah. So it says, we've got V for Vendetta and Watchmen, but
great movie. Any of you guys who haven't watched V for Vendetta, really recommend it.
What the hell?
Who are
they? I'm reading out some of the British ones. Dan Dare, boring, never heard of him. Judge Dredd, never heard of him.
What? Judge Dredd's quality? Is that English?
Not a super. Yeah,
no.
we haven't.
It doesn't
got
compare to the US
Captain
superheroes.
America and stuff like that. So I think for young people who like carry on watching comics as they get older, this is quite a big one for them.
They love it. The nerds love it.
The nerds love it. It says here, the sole exception to this is that we had Dennis the Menace and he was tons better than yours.
Oh my gosh, Dennis the Menace is amazing. Also, do they have their own version of Dennis?
This was a great cartoon, man. He was truly a menace.
The Menace.
I guess so, because it says tons better than yours.
Look at his dog. Look at that dog. I think the dog's called Nasher.
Wow.
So I'd love to see what the American Dennis the Menace looks like.
Same.
Ours was amazing.
Yeah. I used to read those comic books all the time. Dennis the Menace, the Beano. Yeah, or the Dandy as well. That was good.
Like, I feel like from watching like American TV growing up, like comic books were quite a big thing. Like kids would have comic books, trading comic books. There'd always be a scene of like kids going to comic book stores. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
We never got that. We'd just get the Beano from the news agents.
Yeah. That was it.
We did penny sweets.
That was it. One comic book.
Do kids still buy comic books though? I feel like kids don't, like now there's kind of more like a collectible thing, aren't they? I watched a video the other day, like the Superman edition #1 or something, like $20,000. Just crazy.
Mag.
Wow, we're old.
We are so old.
Like, not compared to our audience, but still. No, but I feel like, you know, when you just hear yourself and you're like, I'm turning into that person who will turn to a little child and be like, I used to get a comic book from the newsagents with penny sweets. And they're like, shut up.
And you're always like, I remember when a chocolate bar was 5p.
Yeah, they're like, I don't care.
I don't care. They're like, what is money?
Yeah.
I only know plastic.
Yeah, they're like, contactless.
Money will be gone soon.
Yeah, oh, I can't wait for money to be gone.
Really? It's just...
No one needs it, it's just stuff.
It's just...
Nah, man, I like having cash. It's such a shame. Like, why is it that they're trying to phase out cash? I don't know. I don't like it.
Just use your card.
Just use your card. Cash will go.
Yeah, cashless society, that's the dream.
Yeah, we will eventually say to our kids, like, there was this thing once, like cash. We'll show them our video on money. We've got a video on
British Money
Explained. And one day we'll have to just say to people, like, these like bits of coins were what we used to...
and they'll be like, wait,
what?
You all like swapped coins and they all had germs on them because they were touched by so many people, and be like, and that's why we got ill.
And you'll be like, we never knew who'd touched them.
No. But that's how you build an immune system. You can't completely remove germs.
No.
But we just...
And you never cleaned them.
You just cleaned them. They never got cleaned.
It's disgusting. Money is disgusting if you think about it.
What, like the germs on it?
Yeah. The germs, think how many hands they go into in their lifetime. It is disgusting.
Gross. There's nothing more unhygienic.
No, nothing more. Because you will touch the money, not think about it, and then go and eat a sandwich or something. Disgusting.
I can't deal, John.
No, cashless all the way.
Cashless society, it's coming soon.
Yeah.
Okay. The last one is an emotion. It's sincerity.
Ooh,
so how sincere Americans are compared to us. So basically just non-sarcastic people.
Yeah.
I think it goes both ways. I think it's amazing.
But there's a lot of sarcastic Americans. I'm sure a lot of you watching this now are probably quite sarcastic, which is good because I find it funny. It's really funny.
That Brits have got sarcasm, and that the majority of Americans don't, because like we can really use that in our humour. Like British comedy is so sarcastic a lot of the time. Yeah. But then Americans just got that really sincere feel, like they're really feel good, genuine, wholesome people. Yeah. So it says here, this might be the key to the problem of superheroes too. Oh, in any community, it's important to have dreamers, but it's also important to have doers. You need people who can speak to a higher purpose. Like Brits don't do that. They're not motivational speakers. No. Not many of them are like speaking with like sincerity. And
yeah, you don't find people like, you know, Tony Robbins who does that motivational stuff. You don't. I can't think of a British Tony Robbins. Like, it just doesn't really exist here.
That's why when you go on Netflix and you see all the motivational speakers, they're all American. Yeah.
And you watch them and you buy it. Imagine a Brit doing that.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work.
I'm sure they can. But they can. Yeah, just not as like, I don't know. I know what you mean.
Just a Brit person saying, good for you. Doesn't sound as good as an American, like, good for you.
And just even the examples we've given before as well of a Brit being like, oh, we must meet up soon. They don't mean it. Yeah. If an American was like, oh, we must meet up soon, you'd be sincere. Like, oh, they mean it.
They mean it, 100%. So, yeah. Speaking in incredibly broad terms, Americans tend to be the people who say, we are all going to come together as one, and if we put our backs to the grindstone and our spines into spasm, one day we can build Stonehenge.
That's Stonehenge!
Stonehenge! Stonehenge! Stonehenge!
I do want to visit Stonehenge, to be fair.
That is the most American sentence I've ever read. It's so dramatic.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes us like chuckle because it's so awkward. It's like we can't say it.
Yeah, but we...
Yeah, for sure. A lot of that can do sort of motivational industry like that's so popular in America. Like people in America now have coaches, from what I've seen. Like Americans watching this, like, is it something that's true, or maybe I've just been pushed into a certain algorithm on YouTube that's showing me, like, apparently people hire coaches, like life coaches, career coaches. Such things don't really exist here in the UK. Like, although I do think it could be useful, you know, to have someone that you can ask if you're going through like a difficult period, or, you know, you've got like a big decision to make where, you know, you have to pick, like you're at a crossroads. Having a coach could be good. But yeah, I do think as time goes on, you're going to see both the cultures in the UK and the US somewhat coalesce. It's happening now already, especially with the younger generations. But as time goes on, it will just become more and more similar. But yeah, definitely there's some key differences. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoy my videos, please help me out by liking and subscribing.